Tide is a platform, right? We are a platform for SMEs.
Yes.
And we, bring a lot of things on one platform for SMEs. Tide, by virtue of being a leading SME-focused challenger bank in the UK, brings a lot of learning, into the market. On the banking side, we are quite committed to our RBL partnership for now. Building a business in India, the biggest challenge which is faced by women entrepreneurs is that these networks are highly male dominated, and we need a lot more representation of women in the SME world.
Thank you so much, Mr. Singh, for your time on IndiaPodcasts. It's a real pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much for your time.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me. Look forward to the discussion.
I would like to start with your entire journey in the fintech world. I think I was going through your profile and to knowing more about you. And it was quite intriguing into your journey in the financial service world. If you can just, in brief, tell me how your experience has been. How was your journey through?
So it's been an amazing journey. I believe I have been fortunate, to start pretty early in the fintech ecosystem in India.
Yeah.
By my education, I am a computer science engineer, and then I, did my MBA. So in a way, I was, trained for technology and, the financial services world. So I started out with the Angel One, which is one of the top stock brokerages in the company today. And those were in their early days of expansion. And post that, I spent some time with bankbazaar.com, again, in their very early days. So I think these two experiences, right out in my career. And at that point in time, fintech was not even a specialized sector or a word, a buzzword, right? We were just at the intersection of technology and financial services. So I think that shaped up, my exposure and experience into the fintech ecosystem. Post that, I spent, a very large part of my career with PayU, which is a Naspers organization. And I spent more than 7 years there, around 7.5 years. There, and we built out, I believe one of the leading fintech organizations in the country. And post that, starting out Tide, which is a leading challenger, SME-focused challenger bank in the UK.
Yes.
Bringing that to the India market, our first, global market outside of UK. And very important market for us, bringing that to India. So overall, that's been my journey. I have seen this sector evolve, from the time where we were just technology people in the financial services, as a sector, to a booming part of the overall financial services ecosystem. So I've seen this evolve and seen this transition. And I believe, what gives me the highest level of professional satisfaction is the kind of value we are able to bring to the ecosystem. I think that's amazing. That's something which gives me, the satisfaction of professional satisfaction of working in an ecosystem. And the other amazing part is, as we do that, right, there is so much more to be done. In terms of the reach, in terms of the scale that our market offers, right? There is huge scale which is to be achieved, and I think there is a long way to go for us in the market.
With Tide, I want to know how much has your vision changed with Tide, because you've been part of the fintech world for a long. I think it's gone to a story of decades. You've seen the evolution there. You can see through the vision, because when we talk about looking through, it's about in future, you can see a few decades ahead. How has Tide really changed more into your vision about the fintech world? What is that has come by with being the Tide CEO?
Well, Yeah, see, Tide, by virtue of being a leading SME-focused challenger bank in the UK,
Yeah.
brings a lot of learning, into the market.
Hmm.
If you've been looking at neo banking as a subset within fintech, right? UK is the most evolved, market as such.
Okay.
You see some very large players have emerged out of UK. So, with that, what has that done is that, as a market, it is a few years ahead, from a neo banking standpoint.
Yes.
And even from an open banking standpoint, UK and Europe are a little ahead as you compare
Yes.
with other markets. So I think that that view or that experience is quite important. And what I see at Tide is that the journey that has been executed in UK over last 3 years, the way UK market has evolved in terms of neo banking penetration or the market share that neobanks have, right?
Yeah.
I see that we would be executing something similar in India. So the
Okay.
entire neobanking ecosystem put together as it is, it started picking up some market share in the country. But over the next 3 years, we'll see this evolution, right? So I think having this perspective, in an organization which has executed it in one of the markets, I think that brings in, a lot of learning and expertise, and gives us a lot of confidence as we, come into the India market. That's one. Second, Tide is a platform, right? We are a platform for SMEs,
Yes.
and we, bring a lot of things on one platform for SMEs. And as such, right, SMEs are a pretty underserved, category
Yes.
across the world.
Totally.
The
Yes.
problems are very similar, and typically what happens is, at the core of this problem, right? I think the financial services, traditionally, they are either built for individuals or built for corporates, right?
Yes.
And overall, SMEs are there in the middle, and they pick and choose from these two areas, and they try to get served.
I think in the entire banking space, SMEs always do not find themselves fitting in well.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, because the products are not tailor made for them. So
Yes.
from that standpoint, right, I believe with this platform play, Tide brings in a lot of experience in serving and solving for this underserved segment. And that's been my I would say exposure, or my expertise, which I have got from Tide as an organization, as we step into the India market.
If I particularly want to come to the Tide story, now that you're coming with the recent collaboration with RBL Bank in India, that's how you are entering in the market. Where do you see the Tide story go? Like, where do we see it flow through? Because as you said, UK market has given a success tag to Tide, but how are you comparing that with the Indian market? How are we ready for it right now?
Excellent. So, our collaboration with RBL, is on very similar lines as our business model in the UK.
Okay.
In UK, we work with a bank called Clear Bank, right?
Yes.
So we have a banking partner. But as a platform, we bring in, lot of services for the SMEs, right, which help them, solve for their financial and admin needs. Things like invoicing, credit, payroll. So we bring, taxation. We bring a bouquet of things to a SME, which help him, set up his business, run his business in a compliant and efficient manner, right? So, as we do that, we have a bunch of products which are our own, and we work with partners as well to bring those products to the platform. Now, the challenge as we go to more markets, right, is to ensure that our platform, the value of our platform stays, and we also localize wherever needed. So, for example, taxation in different markets is different.
Yes.
The way regulation goes in different markets, it's different.
True.
So for that, we have to localize, but our overall flavor of the platform is something which we intend to keep similar across the globe. So that's our aspiration. And in India, that's how we are going about it. We are keeping the core platform in a similar shape and form. Okay. And we need to localize for a bunch of things. So, for example, taxation, right? We have a GST regime. Yes. There is a VAT regime in the UK. So that needs the kind of localization that we need to do, and so on and so forth.
In simple term, can I say, Mr. Singh, it is a one-stop solution for the SME sector? Is that what we are looking at doing? And are you also going to provide business coaching or some kind of support into guiding them in facilitating the whole purpose?
Absolutely. So see, our core is, that our platform is strong enough to help SMEs solve for their financial and admin needs, so that, it gives them time back for them to focus on their core business.
Okay.
Generally admin and finance, they are pretty broken, and, SMEs have to go to professionals, pull out data files, give it to various professionals for them to solve for all their compliances, taxation, etc. Right? But what we do is, as a platform, we help them do it on their own, so that a lot of time and money goes back to them. We save them time and money so that they can focus on their core business. Other than this, right, we do a bunch of knowledge sharing activities. So, for example, one of the programs we have in the UK is called Masterclass. So essentially, we facilitate, depending on the need of the SMES segment, we facilitate various, areas. We bring in experts from the organization and externally as well to the platform, and to, help them on various topics. In the UK, we have already started with us acting as a platform where members of our platform could offer their services to others on the platform.
Oh, so it's more like a networking happening. We have separate groups in helping in that.
Yes. So, you could bring your service to the platform, and then, whoever needs that, could use that. So that, marketplace play, also is enabled at a scale as we go towards.
What is there to minimize the risk when we talk about the success of the SME business that you want to support? Is there a mechanism that you look at minimizing the risk because you're facilitating or helping the SME sector? So how do you help these businesses be success? Like, is there also a major concern for Tide?
See, very, very good question. I think one of the, major areas which SMEs struggle with is, the financial data footprint, right?
Okay.
So, having all your financial data on single platform essentially, helps you to manage, a lot of risk and compliance in a very efficient and a prudent way.
Okay.
Essentially, that's what we do as a platform. And along with that, right, we as a fintech work with alternative data sources, combine that with our existing data. We have a lot of sector level and market level insights. So when you bring all these together, right, you can then build out AI and machine learning based models to essentially underwrite the segment in much more prudent and efficient form as compared to the traditional world. So the speed at which you could underwrite and the way that you underwrite, both these go a long way in bringing in more, more credit and, managing the risk in a more prudent fashion for the SMEs. So essentially, that's what we do differently, and that's what we do well.
We will see more partnership going further. We have Bandhan Bank also with the MSME, the biggest bank, and so we'll see more partnership also with Tide coming up with more banking partners in future.
Well, it's just not banking, but we are already working with bunch of players in the ecosystem, in the fintech as well as non-fintech ecosystem, to bring things onto the platform for SMEs. So we are very open to collaboration, but on the banking side, we are quite committed to our RBL partnership for now, and that's what we intend to scale in the recent
now
future.
I want to come to a very interesting part. I think what I really liked in pulled me to ask you this question is SME women sector. I think you're giving a lot of focus has been given to women SMEs and their business models. Can you tell me the story behind that? What really has encouraged you to come up to support the women SME space per se?
Right. So we focus a lot on women SMEs in the UK.
Yeah.
So there we have done bunch of programs to enable women entrepreneurs and SMEs as such. Other interesting thing which I'll point out for you is that in the UK we all our brand ambassadors are actual SMEs who are users of our platform.
Wow.
And if you will look at our campaigns, etc., you will find a very diverse pool. People from various backgrounds doing different, businesses, and women as such have a very high representation there. Now, having said that, we have focus on that in the UK, and as we were coming to India, we said we will continue that focus. And in India, the way we are approaching it, that we've set up a group of people from organization, and as we have made the announcement, we've seen decent interest in the ecosystem. Bunch of early stage investors have reached out to us. Bunch of other organizations, like incubators, etc. Private sector as well as government incubators have open discussions with us to join this initiative. Now, what we do here is that we bring in the knowledge of all the enabling factors from a business standpoint, right? We bring in a lot of network to the table for the women entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Because typically our what our research shows that building a business in India, the biggest challenge which is faced by women entrepreneurs is that these networks are highly male dominated.
Oh, wow.
Now, how do you bring this access, to women entrepreneurs? Then with all our incubation partners and early stage investor partners, we could also bring bunch of early stage capital as well on the table. Now, having said that, there are a number of things or number of schemes which you could be part of, right, as a SME, which you could have access to if you do things in a certain way and if you are compliant in a certain way, right? So, bringing all that knowledge to the ecosystem is what our focus is, so that we could enable and encourage higher number of women entrepreneurs in the ecosystem.
You said something very interesting, that in your research you found that most of the network here is male dominated, so it is not very easy for women here to access it where you want to step in. Are there any such more observations that were made when it comes to women SMEs where you think the struggle is real high? या कोई anecdote that कोई ऐसी story जो आप लोगों ने experience किया, where you felt they need help? And
well, you see, this challenge essentially, by the structure of our society and culturally, you see higher number of men, right? So, for example, when you travel to the developed world, right? If you are at an airport, at a metro station, you will see essentially, larger number of women. If you go for higher education to a developed country, the mix in the classroom is very different. So culturally, right, we have that challenge. Now, having said that, the challenge becomes even more amplified in certain specific areas. So, for example, manufacturing, right, and ultimately, SME may be directly into manufacturing or could depend on manufacturing in some shape and form.
True.
Or, the supply chain, right? So to name a few sectors where there is a huge challenge. And then, culturally, where you are in the country, right? Tier 1 city has, a different culture as compared to a tier 3, tier 4 cities.
Yes.
And in various parts of the country, culturally it's very different. And third is, there is also a lot of knowledge in various business communities, right?
Okay.
So, the background that you come from essentially gives you access to certain business networks, and it essentially, by the design of it, leaves out, others. So all this put together, right, there is a significant challenge for many groups, if they intend to start a new business, or if they are running a small business and they look to scale up. And this is further amplified for women entrepreneurs. So
Yes.
that's been our observation. And with this effort, we'll try and bring more of such access to to the network, to the table, so that we could enable the ecosystem.
Mr. Singh, it was quite nice of you to give us detailed understanding and comprehensive understanding into the basics of the entire business and fintech model that you're into. But since you have been on this journey for long, you understand fintech world the best. Are we at any point heading towards a completely no physical banking space in future very soon? I think this is where we have seen some of the great bankers in India talk about. Like if you go abroad, we have a completely no physical banking existence because of the availability of the fintech apps and platforms to help them. So do we see India go there very soon, or it's a long journey ahead?
Well, it's a journey, because see, we have a very diverse and large population in country, right?
True.
So different parts of the country are at different levels. So if you look at upper middle class in tier 1-2 cities today, that group, or the Australia at the top of India pyramid, as you call it, that group hardly visits the branch.
Okay.
Right? We are already at that stage. But the level to which these services have to go, is quite vast and diverse. And I think different players in the ecosystem play different role here. Of course, fintechs will bring a lot of new users to the financial ecosystem. They'll play a very important role in the financial inclusion, and they have already played. Then there are a bunch of players who have blended models. So, for example, if you look at payment banks, right, they have built out an amazing network of banking correspondents. So you do not need to have a branch, but somebody who's already running a shop essentially does activities A, B, C, D, which need a physical touch point for you, right? Sure. So, suddenly it removes the need of a specialized branch, but still enables the physical contact that you may want once in a while. Sure. But otherwise, the way regulation and technology, have transformed and are, transforming, there will be very less need for people to, be visiting branches or carrying bunch of paperwork for submission, etc. So I think we are already moving in that direction, but we have a lot of ground to cover.
So coming to almost the close of our entire discussion, it was really nice to have you with us, explain everything. But I would like you to leave us with one message that you have for the fintech ecosystem or the customers, whatever is the message that you today want to leave us with.
Well, I believe in the power of compounding, right? Be it in investments or be it, in building something. So my message to the ecosystem is that, we are moving in the right direction. Sure. We have to keep at it and keep building. And I think the outcome or the value that we generate out of this, it's going to be manifold with each passing year. So as an ecosystem, I think we have some amazing days ahead of us, but a lot of work to do to reach that target.
And one message for the SME, women SMEs, because I think that's quite a focus area for Tide to come in India. So any message for women SMEs?
So, I think in today's world, right, if you look at, the history till now, I think today's world is the most connected, right? Today's world, the access to knowledge is is quite easy, right? Yeah. So, my message is, if you intend to do something, keep at it. And, there are a bunch of players in the ecosystem who, would come in as enablers, a lot of players in the ecosystem who will come in as enablers of network, enablers of capital, enablers of knowledge, etc. So, just keep at it, and these enablers will find their way to you, or you will find your way to them. And, you would build up something amazing. I think from a entrepreneurship standpoint, right? I think it's, again, amazing time to be in the market. And we need a lot more representation of women, in the SME world, because that essentially brings in the power of diversity into the ecosystem. So keep at it, and let's keep doing what we do, and focus on our businesses.
This just brought me to a last thought. What has been your biggest learning in your journey till now, life or career together?
Well, what has always amazed me is the power of technology, right? So as you start putting technology to solving problems, and then solving that at scale, I think that has amazing power. And, seeing that unfold in my professional career, I think that's been a journey of, enrichment. You learn, but the power of technology never ceases to amaze you. So that's been.
Are you a tech savvy person?
Well, yes, by my education, as well as by the field that I'm in, I'm quite tech savvy. But what's amazing in my role is that you also see the actual output in the market of the use of technology.
Yes,
and I think that is something amazing.
Thank you so much, Mr. Singh. It was a real pleasure to talk to you and know this entire vast knowledge that you shared with us. And we really wish Tide all the best. And we sure it'll make a turnaround and revolutionizing effect in India with the purpose it is coming with. So we're most welcoming it, and we wish you all the best. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It was an amazing discussion. Thanks.